I'm Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be giving you a health update. It's been a while since I did my epilepsy update video where I mentioned very vaguely I did not go into detail at all, but like something was going on and I was like kind of scared. I was honestly very scared. I'm just like, what is going on? And I didn't have like the answers, and I honestly was just, you know, waiting to see my doctors, and I kind of knew it was either, you know, seizures or something else when I was doing research, but I really, you know, obviously wanted to wait for my doctors. So I saw my neurologist in December, and I actually gave a brief update in one of my vlogmases on how that went, and my doctor actually was pretty confident it was migraine with aura, or she said aqua migraine. Like, they have so many different names, and even like with that, like migraine with auras, there's like different types, so we'll go into that like a little bit, I guess. But like honestly, I would just say migraine with aura. But yeah, she was pretty confident it was that and not seizures, which honestly I was, you know, I was happy with, because, you know, seizures are scary, but even this like sort of scares me, so I'm just like okay. But I was happy that like I somewhat had answers, but the one thing I was waiting on is to see my eye doctor. So migraine with aura, I'm not going to go into detail in this video what it is. I mean, there's so much I need to learn about it, but I definitely in the future will do a video, you know, talking more about what it is. But anyway, what you need to know is a headache, or like, you know, migraine, that a lot of the times it affects your vision, and honestly it can affect like your hearing, like smells, like any senses it can affect, and like language, and it can affect a lot, but a lot of times it affects, you know, your vision, and for me it mostly affects my vision. So we will go into more detail in a little bit, but I went to see my eye doctor because obviously when I was looking into this, there was other things that they were like, oh, it could be like more serious, and I was like, oh my goodness, like could I be losing my vision? Like, I don't know, I was just going through like everything. So obviously it was most important to go to my eye doctor that I've been seeing for my whole life, pretty much. So when I went there, you know, he did all the exams on my eyes, and there was nothing wrong with like my aqua eyes, you know, besides, you know, my hemianopsia. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with my aqua eyes, which obviously like I'm so like happy and grateful for. But he agreed as well. He was like, yeah, that sounds a lot like a migraine. So I saw him like pretty recently, so now I feel like, okay, while I can't 100% rule out a seizure, because in order to rule out a seizure, honestly, you will have to have like an EEG, but that would definitely like be nearly impossible to do because it doesn't happen often. So the chances of having an EEG at the exact time my vision, like it happens with my vision, is very, very, like, it's nearly impossible. But yeah, so for now I'm going, you know, with, you know, I'm having these migraines. That's like the best answer I'm ever gonna get at this point, at least for now, is that I'm having these migraines with auras. And now they have like a bunch of like different types of migraines with auras. So there's one where it only happens in one eye, and both of my doctors was like, asked me that, and I didn't know. I did not know if it happens in one eye or both of my eyes. Like, I couldn't tell them. Like, I will talk about my experience soon, about what these episodes are like of having these migraines with my vision, you know, changing in a second. But apparently that is not pretty important, and it now makes sense. What my eye doctor told me is if it's happening in one eye, it's more of like a vision problem, but if it's happening in both eyes, it's more of a brain problem, and he truly thinks it's more of a brain problem. I mean, that makes sense to me because the reason I am visually impaired is because of my brain injury. I have an injury, you know, to my brain in the part where, well, actually, that would actually be a kind of interesting video to talk about like my brain because, you know, I have had a few MRIs, but anyway, part of my brain that is injured is part of my vision. Anyway, that is why I can't see and have, like, I have a field cut, a 50% field cut in both my eyes, but anyway. So that is what my eye doctor thinks, and my other doctor, my neurologist, was asking me that too. And honestly, I don't know, I did not think about that, but also, I only use one eye at a time, so, yeah. I don't know, like, I mostly just use my left eye, and then, you know, I have a lazy eye, so when I cover this eye, I'm now using my right eye, but then I'm not using my left eye, if that makes any sense. I, like, can't use both of them at the same time. So, yeah, next time this happens, which I, like, don't want it to happen again, but the next time it happens, I will try my best to remember to, you know, figure out if it's both eyes or one eye, but yeah. Anyway, now let's talk about what it is like. So, this happened. Actually, let's go back actually when this first happens because, okay, let me start over. So, it happened twice in the span of like just a few months. So, it first happened at the end of August this past year, 2022, and then it happened in the beginning of October, and I was like freaking out because I'm just like, why is this happening twice in such a short period of time when it hasn't happened since college, which was I think it was the summer of my junior to senior year, I believe, and then before that it didn't happen when I was in high school, a sophomore, and I will talk about that experience first. So, during that experience, or time, that was before I was diagnosed with epilepsy, my seizures, disorder, so we didn't know that. But that was during the time where I did have OMM, and I had, like, vision seizures and all that. So, this was the day I was taking an MCAS. So I went into my room with the person that was like going to be there, my proctor. She gave me the exam, and right away, I feel like it was pretty soon after. Like I didn't even open the exam. So it was like in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, I lost my vision. Like, I'm like the worst at describing things, but the best I can describe it, I will try to describe it as best as I can. The best way is, like, if you accidentally look towards the sun or like something like that, and then like briefly you'll have like spots in your vision. So it's kind of like that, but 10 times worse. So it was like I have blind spots, you know, like when I'm looking, I can't see. So when I was looking down at the exam, I couldn't see. And what I was trying to focus on, I couldn't see. Like, I could see like a little bit around what I was focusing on, but when I was trying to focus, or when I was trying to look at the person that was can I say that word? The person that was giving me the exam, like, I couldn't, like, I could see her, but not make, like, I couldn't see her clearly, if that makes sense. And during that time, so right after that, so at first, like, I obviously, like, told her, like, I literally can't see, and at first, I feel like she didn't believe me, because, you know, everyone knew, this person knew, like, I like to joke around, but I was being serious, like, obviously. Like, I can't see it, not just because I want to get out of doing MCAS, you know, like, I can't see. There's no way I can take this exam. We left the room and I went to the nurse's office and I got walked on, and I feel like leaving that room, like, I started to, like, get better, and it was only my vision. It was only, like, that was it. This whole experience. At that time, you know, everyone around me truly thought, you know, I'm sensitive to light, like that must be it, which honestly, I think I am. I honestly think I am sensitive to light. My eyes, like, I have other experiences, like, I will talk about, but, like, I do. And that day, the sun was coming in, it was, like, a bright day, so it makes sense. But then, once I got diagnosed with my seizures, epilepsy, I feel like it was like, oh, was that actually a seizure? Because there's also, you can have visual seizures, so, you know, it impacts your vision, but the difference is, the biggest difference is it only lasts, like, a very short amount of time. This lasted longer, so I don't know. Like I said, clearly I'm not a doctor, so I'm just sharing my experience, but, at the time, we were thinking, like, you know, I'm sensitive to light, and, you know, we just gotta be careful, because after that, I didn't use that room again for my MCAS. I moved to a different room for, like, the rest of the time. So that was back in high school, and this can happen a call, you know, my college, in between the summer of college, and I remember it started when I was in the shower, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't see. So this was a similar experience, I would say. I honestly feel like it lasted longer though. I feel like the one in high school didn't last that long, but it lasted, I don't know. It's hard to know. But this one I feel like lasted like 40 minutes to an hour. I'm not sure, but, like, I just remember not being able to see, and just, I don't know, it freaks me out. Every time it happens, it always freaks me out, and I just, like, get so scared that, like, my vision won't go back to, you know, normal, at least normal for me, even though my vision is clearly not normal. So that was in college, and actually, looking back now, I will say, I do remember a couple of times in elementary school where just all of a sudden I lost my vision. And I remember one time, like, we were, like, reading in class, and then all of a sudden, like, when I was looking at the book and was trying to follow along, like, I couldn't see the words, like, what I was trying to focus on. And the other time, we were working on a project, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't see, and I was, like, still trying to, like, help with, like, my group, but, like, I also, like, I don't know, it was just, I don't remember too much about it. During all those experiences, it was just impacting my vision. I don't remember ever being confused, or it impacting, like, my language, my speech, or my hearing, or anything like that. It was just my vision. So it is interesting looking back at elementary school, because that was before I was diagnosed with hemianopsia. Now let's fast forward to 2023, or let's say 2022, because that is when it happened twice in a span of just, like, a few months. And it was also a later difference. Let's go back to, it was the end of August, and I was getting ready to have my therapy session. I feel like it was, like, 5 minutes before my therapy session. Like, I was about to have my session, but, you know, I was just, like, scrolling on my phone, you know, I don't know, trying to do something called I get on to the session, and then I lost my vision, and I'm just like, what? Like, why? Like, why did this have to happen? But yeah, I lost my vision. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to have this session, and I go on, I somehow like get on. I feel like I was just, I don't know, I was doing my best. Like, I don't, so I can sure see, but like, I didn't lose my all my vision, but what was happening was I was having these bright like light sparks in front of my vision, what I was trying to focus on. So when I log on, I like had to tell my therapist. I was like, I can't see. And then of course I freaked her out, and she was like, oh my god. And I was like, yeah, it has happened before, you know, back in high school, and you know, a few other times. And you know, it is rare though. Over my life, it has only happened, you know, several times. Anyway, but I freaked her out. I was like, yeah, it could be a seizure, or I think it could be like a migraine or something. And then of course I freaked her out. But long story short, we ended up actually not doing video anymore through Zoom, because that was hawking my eyes. That's the one thing, is like going on a screen, looking at a screen while this is happening hurts my eyes a lot. Like, even just like having my, like, looking at anything, like, honestly the best thing I can do when this is happening is close my eyes and quickly turn off all the lights and turn my blinds down and just like make it completely as dark as I can in my room. That helps the most. But anyway, so we switched to just talking on the phone. Yeah, during that session, I think I did like pretty well just like talking. Like, I didn't have difficulty talking, but I think like thinking, I don't know, I feel like it was just so overwhelming. But the one thing I will say is, after I finished the session and I got off my phone, I was trying to put the next time I was gonna have therapy in my phone, but when you can barely see, that is hard. So I was trying my best, and that is when I noticed I was confused. And I think it was the mix of not being able to see, so I was like trying to like see and being like, okay, you know, there's a place to write this down on your phone, like a calendar, but like I couldn't make sense of that in my mind. I couldn't see it, and it was just like, it was like, oh my goodness. At a certain point, I'm just like, I need to do this at another time. When I have my vision back, like, I can't do this now. I don't know, I honestly do think I was confused, and that is one of the things that can happen. And I do think it was a combination of just not being able to see well at all, and then just like, I don't know, I honestly don't know. And then I guess also remember like looking at my phone a little bit, even though it was like not the best for me, because like I said, it was hurting my eyes. But then I was like freaking myself out, so I was looking at other stuff, and I swear I was like seeing things. I honestly don't know, but that was when I was like, okay, I need to put my phone down and quickly just close my eyes and just wait a call, this is over. So that is what I get. And I would say it lasted like all of it. Like, I feel like over time it got better. Like, I honestly don't know. Like, I think the worst of it is in the beginning, and then it gets a little better, especially if I close my eyes. I feel like it gets better, and just like turning off all the lights. But then it happened again in the beginning of October, and yeah, this was, I feel like I know the cause of why this happened. I told my doctor this, and she was like, oh, this makes sense. But I turned my ring light on, but like, I don't know, I guess it was, I don't know, the day. It is a lot of factors. I feel like, you know, like I said, I do feel like I am somewhat sensitive to light, but you know, I put on my ring light a lot, like even out, like I have my ring light on. But ever since this happened, I am extra careful. But, you know, anyway, that honestly could have been what triggered it, and just like how I was that day. It could have been a lot of things. My stress level and just like everything could have just worked together so perfectly that it caused me to have a migraine and lose my vision. So this happened, and I was also, the reason I turned on my ring light is because I was filming a TikTok. Like, I actually will put it in right here maybe, so then you can see that while I was filming that, yeah, I was having these visual things, and I don't think I was yet confused at that point. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But the reason I kept filming that TikTok video is because I honestly wanted to see if, like, once I obviously could see again, I wanted to see, like, if my eyes look any different, if, like, I wanted to see, like, what I look like doing it, and if I could tell the difference. And honestly, I don't know. But after I filmed it, it took me a good long time. I feel like it took me a bit to like actually save it, because there was no way I was posting it at that time because I couldn't see. As I said, I couldn't see. So it took me like forever to find the button to save it, and then I finally did, and I was like, okay, I'll post this later when I am better. And then I remember I went down, I actually did make myself something. I made myself avocado toast. And I feel like at that point, I think I waited a little bit, and then once I felt like, you know, my vision was like slowly getting better, like it was still not normal, but I felt like it was getting better. That's when I went down and made myself avocado toast, and I was very careful, obviously, because my vision was so not normal, so I had to be very careful. And I realized, like, I couldn't think of some words. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I wasn't having trouble talking. It was like I couldn't think of the words. Like, even like me, like having avocado toast, I was like struggling thinking avocado, like guacamole, and then I was like, oh my god. Then I was thinking of other words. So I'm just like, I don't know how to describe it, but like I was definitely confused in terms of like thinking of words, and it was just, it scared me. It definitely scared me. But I think soon after that, like, I was fully better, my vision was back, and ever since then, it hasn't happened again. So now it is, again, filming this, it is February 1st, so it hasn't happened again, knock on wood. But yeah, now I have seen my doctors. I know there's nothing wrong with my aqua eyes, any other things, so that is good to know. But it's so scary. It's definitely something that I'm being careful in terms of like what triggers it. So, you know, likes and screen time, like spending too much time on your screens can trigger it, and stress. I honestly feel like stress is like the biggest thing. Like, I feel like when I get stressed, like, that is when it happens. That is a big trigger for me, especially, you know, for, you know, seizures and honestly anything in terms of my health. But yeah, I think that's all I want you to talk about. Like I said, I would love to make more videos about this, more like educational videos, especially when I keep learning about this, and, you know, hopefully, you know, one day I will know if it's happening in one or both eyes, since I realize that is important, very important to know. But I do think it has to do with my brain. I feel like that is the cause of a lot of my, you know, struggles, is my brain. But, you know, I'm doing better, and I think the scariest part of these is just not knowing, the unknown, the fact that it could honestly happen anytime, like even if I'm being careful about like not causing me stress. And oh yeah, one thing to know is it was around the time I was studying for my MCAL, so I now am studying for my MCAL again, so I'm trying to be really careful, and I now have a date of when I'm taking it again, which is in early March. So I'm trying my best to not get stressed, because I honestly, like, my greatest fear in terms of these migraines and what is happening with my vision is that, or like even the confusing part of it, and it's like everything is that it's gonna happen during my MCAL exam, which, you know, of course it happened during my MCAS, so it's not like crazy to think about that it may happen. So I'm trying my best to be very careful. But yeah, that's an update on my health. So I'm happy to get answers. I will see you very soon in my next video. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.